Blog Talk Radio. Hello and welcome to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 18. I'm your host, Christy Rosario, all the way in Los Angeles, California, originally from New Jersey. We're here today. We have Richard Solomon, the boxing prophet. Richard, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. You doing well?
Great. Looking forward to another great show.
We have a really good show. If you'd like to call in, you can call 347-324-5998. I'm excited to say that we have Sugar Shane Mosley up in just a minute. And then we are also going to speak to, I'm also excited to talk to, K9 Cornelius Bundrage. I'm sorry, K9. It's a lot easier to say K9 than Cornelius Bundrage. I even had to ask him how to pronounce his last name. So he's coming up as well. Today we're going to talk about Mikey Garcia and Juanma Lopez. Sakio Bika against Marco Antonio Paraban. That's coming up. Jonathan Banks and Seth Mitchell. That's going to be a great heavyweight bout. And, of course, all the trash-talking Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner. We'll have to talk about them. And, of course, you have to mention Jessica when you mention them because she is the center of the attention here for all this. But I want to introduce to you someone who I just think is a phenomenal athlete as well as a fantastic person. He just beat Pablo Cesar Cano in Mexico, which, is a hard thing to do, on a very close decision. Great fight. And I want to introduce Sugar Shane Mosley. Hi, Shane.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on Real Combat Media.
Hey, no problem.
Well, I saw you on Sunday at your dad's house for the fights, and I kind of jumped on you about coming on, and I really appreciate that you're here. It's fun to have you. How are you?
Hey, no problem. I'm doing good. I'm just hanging out here, enjoying some vacation with the kids and stuff like that, and just hanging out at the house right now.
How many kids do you have? Because I know we saw Shane Jr. Fight on Sunday at your dad's house. How many other kids do you have?
I have 3 other kids. So I have 4 in total.
You have 4, and how old are they?
Shane is 22, and then Najee's 12, Tashki's 11, and my little girl is 9 right now.
Wow. So is your 9-year-old, is she in the gym ready to box?
No, she doesn't want to box. She does gymnastics and she likes the dance classes and stuff like that. But boxing, no, she won't do it. She probably could 'cause she's athletic enough, but she doesn't. She's not into the boxing part.
Not into the boxing part. But how would you feel though if she said, Daddy, I'd like to box? How would you feel about that?
I think I'd be all right with it. Boxing is a sport that's, it's a mental sport that you have to really want to do it. So, but if she wants to box, I'll train her, and I'm sure she'll be pretty good because like I said, she is athletic. She can, she does gymnastics and a lot of different things. She has good balance and stuff like that. But as far as I don't think that she'll want to. She's more of a girly girl, if you will.
Of a girly girl. Yeah, but that's nice that you're open to it, though. It's nice. Not all fathers are open to their daughters boxing. And like you said, it's a mental sport. It's very technical. It's not what everyone thinks. But we're going to talk about – I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so about Shane Jr., we were talking about him on Sunday, and oh my God, what a gorgeous boy you have there. He seems like a very nice guy, and your dad and you and I were talking, and your dad treats him the way he used to treat you. Is that correct? When you were fighting?
But kind of, I think he wants to see the same things in him that he's seen in me. But me and my son are different in the way we approach the fights and the way we go at things. You have to talk to him a little differently than probably the way he would talk to me.
Right. Well, because Jack, he can get a little loud. So with you, he was probably pretty tough, it seems. Is that right? Was he tough on you?
He was tough with me, but I was more tough on myself. That was a difference.
Oh, okay.
I was competitive. I was very competitive especially as an amateur and coming up as a young kid. I started fighting when I was 8 years old. So when I came up, I felt nobody can beat me. That's really one of the reasons why I chose boxing as my favorite sport. My sport is because it's one-on-one, and I felt, especially back then, nobody can beat me one-on-one. So I'm gonna be the best.
Right, that's true, and you don't have anyone to fall back on but yourself, and of course your team. But now working with your son now, Shane Jr., he to me seems more laid back and might not take the same approach. Like if your dad's yelling at him in the corner, does he kind of just retreat instead of, like, what is his reaction? Because your dad, and I think he's great, and he actually sang to me on Sunday, but I know when he's in the corner and he's intense. How does Shane Jr. react to that?
I think that Shane Jr. closes down. I think my father doesn't really realize that, and I try to tell him in the corner sometimes when he's yelling instructions over and over again. Basically he's shutting down. And watch when you don't say too much of anything. Watch how he improves, and he does every time. Every time my father kind of tones it down a little bit, then you can see him start catching, getting his own mind and starting hitting the guy with more shots.
Right, and that's what people don't realize, that everybody's different. Like the guy that's boxed for years, and a coach comes along, you have to work with the boxer, not the way some coaches want to mold. And I'm not saying your dad does this, but some seem to want to mold the boxer to the coach.
Right. Some coaches are stubborn, just like sometimes the fighters are stubborn. But some coaches are stubborn on the way they want to approach a person, and each fighter and each person is different, so you have to approach them differently. Some fighters you can scream at them and yell at them, and that's going to motivate them. Some fighters just scream and yell at them, they close down. They don't like it. It's just me. I was brought up junior police academy, so where they yell at you all day long and put you on your face, make you push-ups and all kind of dying cockroaches, and they call them, and just different stuff in the sun where they scream at you all day. So maybe I was more prone to screaming than my son. He didn't get that type of treatment when he was growing up. That started with me when I was 6. I went to junior police when I was 6 years old, so I was real familiar with screaming and yelling.
Oh, wow. Say that again. You went, where were you at 6? Where was this?
Junior police. Oh, it was in Pomona. It was a police academy.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was actually like, wow.
Yeah, so they scream at you, yell at you all day. Like if your shoes aren't shined, if your pants aren't creased, you're doing push-ups all day, 25 at a time. If you march off step, if you scratch when you're not at ease, then you're going down doing push-ups. I mean, just different. It was basically a military type of camp, the summer camp that I went to every single year. So I was pretty in tune with the screaming and yelling. That doesn't really bother me.
Wow. So you started that at 6 years old?
At 6, yeah. That's it. I think
and did you
discipline and hard? No, I didn't really want to go to that. No, my parents.
You didn't want to. I mean, was it something like I want to be a police officer someday, so I'm doing this, or
not
no?
At all. Not at all.
Okay.
My mother was like, okay, you have too much energy. We need to burn some energy, and we knew back then was the city councilman, Mr. Willie White, which was a police officer as well before, and then we had guys that come down from the military and that would basically teach us how to march. I was in the platoon where they did different type of marching, special marching, if you will, where I could do like tricks and stuff. So I was pretty good at it. Anything I did as a kid, I was real good at, and I tried to be the best. And that was my problem, was that I was so competitive. Even when I was 6, in the junior police, I won the physical education thing, and at that time, you had to be 9 to join, but Mr. Willie White let my mother put me in at 6 because I was so energetic, and I even won the physical education thing at 6. I did 100 push-ups, did 100 set-ups, ran a mile like in 6 minutes and 40-some seconds, or
Wow.
So I was like, I was literally a maniac, and the school wanted to put me on that Ritalin stuff because I just had so much energy.
I hate that. They say every boy has ADD. Every boy is getting medication, and it's not ADD. It's that they're boys. They have energy.
They're boys.
Oh, exactly.
Lots of energy, and that's what I was. I was that kid that had lots of energy. I was a kid when we went to preschool. I was 5. They let my mother bring the big wheel to school while everybody's sleeping at 12 o'clock or whatever, doing their nap. I was outside doing my own big wheels right around the track by myself.
That's so funny because I have a 12-year-old and he sounds like you, and I tell them if he can't sit still, let him go run outside a little while. Just let him go run, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Forget the medicine, right? Wow.
Burn it off.
Your mom was progressive though, that she knew that you needed to get out there and just work out. That's so cool. So how long did you do that?
My mother's actually the one that made me go. Well, I had me go to the gym with my father when I was 8 years old. Like, take your son to the gym with you because he has too much energy. Just let him burn off some energy. So I started going to the gym. That's how I started, because my mother wanted me to go to the gym because I had too much energy.
See, listen to that. That's great. See, that's a mother that knows the right thing to do. And then what about your sister? Because I saw her yesterday too. She never went to the gym with you? Never boxed?
No, she actually could have probably been a fighter, but she really didn't go into it. But she was running track. She ran for Cheetahs. She was a 400. What they call it, the 400 runner.
Yeah, 400 meters. Yeah, I love track.
400 meter runner.
Yeah, 440 meters. I forget. Yep.
Yeah, she used to do the 440 relay all the time, and they used to win the California Cheetahs.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yes. Yeah, so she actually was in track and stuff, and she actually would go to the gym every night. Like right now, if you ask her to throw some jabs in the right hand, she can do it. Like she can get in there with some of them girls now, and she's a little older now, but back then she could have probably gotten in the room with those girls and fought with them and did real good. Like she can still throw a jab in the right hand real good. Like you're like, wow, she knows how to throw the punches right, and hit pretty hard too.
Well, so she never came up and jabbed you, or you guys just play around a little bit?
Oh yeah. She's always, I used to go when I was a kid. I used to go get her to, if somebody, bigger boys or whatever, pick on me. I would go get my sister, and they were scared of her because she could fight.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you could tell she was protective of you, and she was very proud of you and your dad yesterday. That was nice to see. Very, very proud. We have to tell everybody, I think, I was remiss and I didn't even say that your record, that you've won 47 fights, 39 KOs, and you've lost 8 to some of the best fighters around. You've never been KO'd ever, 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 and you have a phenomenal record. And you just, on May 18th, you beat Pablo Cesar Cano in Mexico for the WBC International Welterweight title. Congratulations. That's amazing. What an accomplishment that you beat this kid in Mexico. I'm telling you, I was jumping up and down and yelling at you, on the TV. How do you feel?
I felt great. I felt great going in there. This is the first step to, getting that world title. When I was going to fight, Paulie Malignaggi at the Barclays Center, and he kind of backed out on me a little bit, so I was like, okay, who am I going to get to next? I want to fight for the world title. So Golden Boy came to me with Kano, and they said, well, Kano fought with Paulie, and, it was a close fight, and, a lot of people thought Kano won, so what do you think about fighting Kano? I said, okay, let's do it. He said, well, you want to do it in Mexico and in Cancun? I'm like, all right, let's go, because to me, I feel that, I have to go out there and prove myself and show that I'm the better fighter out there, even now at my age, I show that I'm the best. So I had no problem doing that. So I went out to Cancun. The promoter of the show, Pepe Gomez, was very great. Was a good host, a good promoter. I mean, he did everything that I could have wanted. I mean, great promoter. And I had a great time in Cancun, and and I got the victory.
You did, and it was so nice to see. You had your dad, you had Rudy Hernandez, who's a good friend of mine. You had John Bray, who's another good friend of mine, commentating, and I know they're good friends of yours. So you had a lot of support there, didn't you?
It was a lot of support. It was fun, bring Rudy down, and helping me, wrapping my hands, and I'm definitely gonna have him with me in a lot more of my other up and coming fights. I think he's gonna be a great addition to the team.
Yeah, and it was nice, to see Jack, your dad, back, and there was one thing that he said that, God, that really got me. He said something like, you're great. Show them how great you are, or something to that effect. Does that get you when you're fighting? How do you feel when you hear words from your dad like that?
Well, I mean, I know my father comes out with a lot of different words of that, but yeah, when he showed me the scorecards and they had him winning by 2 rounds, and I was like, well, how was he winning? I knew that from, I think it was the 4th or 5th round, that I had to go out there and really, show him that I was the better fighter.
Right. Well, you certainly did, because everybody knows when it's someone's hometown or country, it's hard.
Yeah.
You try. But you did fantastic. And I wanted to ask you, though, because I don't want our time to go and I don't ask you this question.
Okay.
Actually, our producer had this question. He wanted to know, so fighting Canelo and fighting Mayweather, who hits harder, and what strengths does each fighter have over one another? What is your prediction for their fight?
I think that both fighters hit about the same. When I was in the ring with both guys, I think that Mayweather is more technical than maybe Canelo, more experienced. But I see Canelo being, each time he gets in the ring and fights, he's getting better and better. So he's actually getting better, and Floyd seems like he's decreasing a little bit. So it can be a good fight. I give Floyd the edge, but I think it's an even fight right now. It's pretty even with Floyd just edging him a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
So you think it's going to be even. But, I mean, you think it's going to be Floyd by a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's pretty even. So do you think...
I give Floyd the edge because I think that he has the experience, and he knows how to, get away from different shots and make it hard for Canelo. But then Canelo was young, where Canelo's just throwing punches just because now, and he's fast, and he has good power too. So, I mean, it depends on, if Floyd is, how far is Floyd declining? Is he still the same? Does he still have the same fire that he once had? And it doesn't seem like, to me, it doesn't seem like he has the same fire, but it seems like he's still training hard, but not the really same fire that he used to have. Meaning that, it's kind of like with Floyd. I think it's like I've been there, done that, and where it's with Canelo's like he has that fire that he's trying to win. So it's a different game. I think that you got to see what happens, what kind of fire Floyd has.
So you think this is a test for Floyd? Because I don't see him ever wanting to fight someone that he thinks could definitely beat him. So what do you think? And what's going on in Floyd's head for this fight, that he's taking this fight?
Well, I think that Floyd thinks that, like everybody else thinks, that he has more experience, that he's going to be able to probably pot shot him and just do what he needs to do, what he's going to do, and make the young kid not really know. But the young kid is more experienced than Floyd thinks. The young kid has a little bit more technical skills and has a little bit more knowledge than what Floyd thinks. Even though I think Floyd has a little bit more and knows a little more, I still think that, it's a deception. It's a deception of both fighters, too. It's deception with Canelo, thinking he's younger and he's going to be stronger than Floyd and going to be able to just do what he wants to do with Floyd. And when Floyd's doing his movements, but also it's going to be deception for Floyd because looking at this young kid, looking at like this little boy can't beat me, there's no way. So they both have to. There has to be some. Both of those guys are going to make adjustments in that fight that they're not realizing. So
and they're going to have to make the adjustments. Yeah. Do you think by any chance they both have to make adjustments? But do you think maybe the promotions are kind of thinking maybe it'll be a draw, maybe we'll make this a trilogy? I mean, do you think anything like that might happen?
I think the promotion is maybe Golden Boy is thinking that right now is the right time. They see a little something going on with Floyd, maybe, and they think right now might be the right time to jump on Floyd to make this young kid a big superstar, beating Floyd. They might think it's the right time. We shall see.
We shall see. Let me ask you another question. We shall see. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure are you going to be there watching in person?
I might be fighting that night.
You might be fighting that night. Well, do we know who we're fighting?
Not really, but they kept throwing Victor Ortiz's name out there. Then they were talking about the winner of Paulie and Adrian Broner. There's different names being thrown out there, but I don't know.
I don't know. See, you're not a trash talker. I don't think Paulie, there's not enough excitement for Paulie because you're not going to talk crap to him like Adrian does.
I'm about to talk a little crap to Paulie.
I'd like to hear that.
Paulie, but I'm good. But me and Paulie were cool, but I just don't think Paulie wants to fight me at all. Period. I think he knows that I'm a strong guy, and even me fighting Kano and beating Kano, and him having running around the ring against Kano, and Kano, he knows Kano is hard. So I think he knows now. This more solidifies him knowing that I really don't want to fight Shane now. If he's running Kano down, he's trying to get Kano and almost knocking him out. Wow, and Kano had me almost out. I don't know.
Yeah. I know our little Jersey Shore boy might be ducking you, Shane.
But one of them have to give me though. I'm going for that title, that world title. Where we got the 147-pound title, I'm coming after you. And I think my name is big enough where people are going to see if I can go and get it, which I know I can.
I would love to see that. You know what? I love. I'm always rooting for you because I love it because you never go to a fight. You're always in condition. You never go out of condition. You're always ready. And that's why I wanted to ask you about what happened when you were fighting Pacquiao in the 10th round and you were injured. Why did you finish the fight?
Well, I was injured with the Achilles. Actually, my Achilles popped, so I was really injured. And it wasn't just the foot. My right foot had the blisters all on it because it was compensating for the Achilles that I had popped in January, that January. So when I fought him in May, I had 4 or 5 months to try to heal my Achilles. So, it didn't heal fast. And I thought that maybe I can hit him with a good shot, maybe hurt him like Marquez did and knock him out or something. It just didn't happen like that for me. I mean, Pacquiao was a little faster, hit a little harder than I thought, and when I was talking to Nazim, I was like, well, Nazim, my problem. You know what's wrong with me. You know that my Achilles is popped, basically. I was trying to tell him. And I said, this other foot right here has blisters on it. So my right foot had blisters. I really couldn't move that much with my left foot. So I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. So he's like, well, you got it in you, son. You got it in you. You can do it. And I knew I had it in me, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to get knocked out because I can't move or just because, I'm hurt. But I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and do it. I'll just go ahead and move and do what I have to do to finish the fight.
Well, you certainly did. I know. That must have hurt. That sounds painful. My gosh.
Oh, it was real. When I was in the ring and I was moving with my right foot, I could feel the blood because I had blisters. I could feel the blisters, like the liquid part of my blisters, and I could feel the skin a tear at the bottom of my foot. I felt it, and you could see it. You could actually see it. After the fight, they kind of showed it, but I could feel it in my feet while I was moving. I was like, it's killing me, and I really couldn't move like I wanted to. I couldn't throw. I couldn't do anything. I was like, man, I was like a sitting duck.
That's terrible. That sounds gross. That's terrible. Oh my God.
It felt even worse.
Oh, gross. Well, I know you've been through so much. Oh my God. So what advice would you have? You've never been knocked out. What advice do you have to other fighters? And you have any advice of the young and up and coming? I mean, how you've kept yourself the way you have?
I think the main thing, the advice I tell a lot of fighters is, if you put boxing first, then boxing will put you first. But if you put it second or third, then that's what boxing will do to you. It's going to put you second and third. So when you get in the ring and you put it second, just remember that, the boxing, the world, that's what's going to happen to you. Eventually, if it don't happen to that fight, it's going to eventually happen to you that way because you have to put it first.
That's very good advice. Yeah, people that have to work jobs 7 days a week, and you got to give it 100% if you want to be a champion, as you know.
Even if you work in the job, and because I worked too when I was getting ready to before I was world champion. I worked at Kmart, I worked at Big Five, at Select Express, I worked at Domino's Pizza, I worked Bannon House Peaks. I mean, I did all kind of stuff. But in my mind, I always put boxing first. Even when I worked, I said, okay, well, I have to go to the gym at this time, and I have to wake up in the morning before I go to work, and do my run, and then go to work, and then come back home, and then go to the gym or spar or whatever. And then closer I got to win the world title, then I kind of stopped all that. Now, I was lucky enough to have, my parents, my father and my mother, they was working, and, in a household where I had help. So I was lucky enough to have that. Some people don't, but you have to get up in the morning, you got to do a run, you got to make sure you stretch, you got to make sure that you're always thinking boxing. You always got, if you want to be, great and be a world champion, you have to fight for it, if you will.
That is good advice. And, it's such a luxury to people that don't have to work. And, of course, you do. But like you said, even if you have to work, you have to keep it mental. You got to mentally be with the boxing, all the time, all the time. All the time.
Boxing is really a mental sport anyway. It's really more mental than physical than people think. They think it's more physical where you're doing speed, power, and all that. That's cool, too. And you want to have all that. You want to work on all those different things. But really you have to have that belief in yourself, in the system that, you're going to overcome and you're going to achieve. You have to believe that in your heart. If you don't, then it's kind of iffy. If you say, oh, maybe this or what if that, and then if you think that way, that's what's going to be when you get in the ring. What if it may be? It might be a maybe fight. If you believe I'm going to win, then a lot of times 99.9% you're going to win.
Yes, you're right. It is mental.
Exactly.
And you're right. It is mental, and you have to see yourself winning. And you're right. And it's also, I love boxing, and you want to keep it safe. And if you aren't there, then that's when it can be really dangerous,
not
right?
Safe. Yeah,
not
safe. And you don't, not safe way, because if the other guy is believing and doing all of the right things, then that's where you fall off.
Exactly.
And so it's really mental. And then when you get to that big stage where you believe in yourself, the other guy believes in himself, then now you have your skills and all the technical stuff and all that stuff going to fall into play. But a lot of times you get guys like Mayorga and different guys like that train hard. The guy that just the Argentinian kid just fought Maidana. You get guys like Maidana that really believe in themselves. You know what I'm saying? They believe that when I hit you, I'm going to knock you out. I don't care, you can do whatever you want to. When I hit you, I'm going to knock you out. They believe that. And then it happens because they believe it.
Exactly. So. Well, that's great. And, that's great advice. And I have two guys on the line, and I know they want to ask you a question. I have Richard, the boxing prophet Solomon. He's actually my co-host. Prophet, you want to ask Shane a question?
Sure. First, let me say it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Shane. And about 2 weeks ago, I was down at the International Boxing Hall of Fame, and I met you at the reception, and you were such a cool guy. my friend took a picture of us, and you realized that he actually put his hand over the lens, and you told him to retake the photo. I think he had way too many Heinekens, and it was very nice of you to tell my friend to retake the picture. Not too many boxing champions would have done that, so I thank you for that.
Hey, no problem, man.
But Christy kind of alluded to the fact, you just came off the big victory over Cano, and I think it was big for me as a fan of yours because I thought that Malignaggi personally got a gift against Cano. I saw the fight live, especially after he knocked down Malignaggi in the later rounds. I thought Cano definitely won that fight, and for the second time in your career, it seems that you reinvented yourself. The Cano victory reminded me a lot of after your razor-thin loss to Miguel Cotto. A lot of people counted you out, and then you came back and beat Mayorga and Margarito back-to-back. The Cano victory sort of reminded me of Margarito because that eventually led you to the mega fight with Floyd Mayweather. Do you see the comparisons now that beating Cano, beating Margarito led you to Mayweather, and now the victory over Cano could quite possibly lead you to the winner of Malignaggi, Broner, and the fact that indeed you can tell all your critics that you're back?
That'd be great. I mean, to let them know, all the critics know that I'm back. They're counting me out, and I'm not going nowhere. I feel great. Like I have that fire in my gut to go and win that world title again. I have that fire in my gut to beat everybody in the welterweight division that's up there and give everybody a chance at me. I just want to go out there and do the best I can and be the best I can and let them know that, yes, I'm a great fighter, I'm legendary, all that stuff, but I'm still great right now. I still can beat these guys right now at 147.
Another quick question that I have. Growing up, I watched you dominate the lightweight division like no one I have seen since Pernell Whitaker or even Roberto Duran back in the 70s. You won the lightweight title, easily defeating Philip Holloway in 1997, and you ruled that lightweight division with 8 successful title defenses, and then you really took a big calculated risk. You leapfrogged over the junior welterweight division to fight Oscar De La Hoya in what I still think was your biggest victory as a professional, jumping 2 weight classes and fighting a fighter who many perceived to be the top pound-for-pound fighter at the time. What was your logic behind leapfrogging the 2 weight classes? Did you just want to fight Oscar because he was the best fighter in the world and you wanted to make a statement, or you just didn't see anyone at junior welterweight that posed a threat to you at the time?
Well, that's just it. I wanted to jump up that far and fight Oscar, but by the way, for the lightweight division, there were 8 title defenses. They were all by knockout. So all the guys I stopped at lightweight in all my title defenses, just to add that in there. But for Oscar, the thing with Oscar was he won all these different titles and did all these different things, but people didn't know that I beat him when we were kids too as well. We were like 12, 13 years old in Pasadena. And also they didn't know that Oscar went to the Olympics at 132. I fought at 139 when I was trying to go to the Olympics when I lost against Vernon Forrest. So I was actually bigger than Oscar back then. So I figured, okay, in 1991, 1992, I was fighting at 140. I made a sacrifice to jump down lightweight to fight at lightweight. I figured this is hard for me to make lightweight. I'm going to jump up and fight Oscar because I know Oscar's my size. We're the same size, or I'm bigger than him. So, I fought at a bigger weight class than he did, so I know that he's not that much bigger than me or bigger than me. So that was my thinking. I can beat this guy at welterweight, and I'm a better fighter because I beat him before.
Gotcha. And this was always laying in the back of my mind. You fought Vernon Forrest and Winky Wright. You lost both of them twice, but in the interim, against both guys, you didn't take any tune-up fights. When you lost to Vernon Forrest, the next fight, you got right back in the ring with them. Same with Winky Wright. I know you're a prideful man, and you really wanted to avenge both defeats. But did you ever think about taking maybe an interim fight in between those losses to maybe get some confidence back so you could be more successful with them?
Well, it wasn't any confidence loss because if you know in the both second fights, right away I actually fought better. And some people thought I beat Vernon in the second fight. And they kind of gave it because Vernon was just moving around holding me. And actually I was the one actually dictating the fight in the second fight. The second fight with Ricky, I did a lot better. That was a little close. I don't know. Some people say, like it was real close where he put his hands down and I rocked him, and, that could have been what I think Winky's corner even told me, they said, yeah, that was a close fight. It could have went either way. That fight could have went either way. That was a close fight. So, in both fights with both guys, I fought a lot better the second time around. So it wasn't about confidence or take another fight or whatever. It was about, I need to get back in there and because I fear I didn't have any confidence loss. I fear no one. I went in there fearless. Like I don't care. Even if Vernon hurt me or whatever, when he hurt me in the second round, I went down and I got back up and he pushed me down again. In my mind, I was like, okay, after I jump around this ring for one round, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna knock Vernon out. I still felt that I could knock him out even after I went down. So I wasn't even afraid of him then. I was still trying to get him.
And for the record, I agree. I thought you did pull out the rematch against Vernon Forrest. At least on my scorecard, you won. But I also had the Miguel Cotto fight a draw. So, it just sometimes in boxing, it's tough to figure out the judges. Your resume speaks.
Yeah. I mean, even with Cotto, I thought I beat Cotto because I landed more punches, I landed more powerful punches, and I threw more punches than him. So all around, I beat him in all the stats. I think he landed more jabs than I did. But other than that, I beat Cotto on everything on the stats. More punches, landed more punches, and landed more power shots. So
I completely agree. I thought it was close. I had you winning that fight 7 rounds to 5, at least on my scorecard. But there's no accounting for what the judges look for nowadays. But obviously, your resume speaks for yourself. When you retire, you'll go into the first ballot Hall of Famer, into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And we've already gone over who you fought: Forrest, Winky Wright, Miguel Cotto, Floyd, Pacquiao, Alvarez. Who would you say it was the overall the toughest man you've ever been in the ring with? With all things being considered, speed, power, jab, everything all together. Who is the total package? The best fighter Sugar Shane Mosley has ever faced in the ring?
I mean, the best fighter that fought me at my best had to be Vernon at the time, and even that, there were some things that wasn't right with me with Vernon. The first fight that I fought Vernon, he was really sharp and he was really good. Floyd and Vernon is kind of like it's right there neck and neck, but Vernon hit the hardest out of all of them.
Okay, gotcha. And for the record, let me just say that as I throw it back to Christy, I hope somewhere down the line you get a title shot. And in a perfect world, I keep things real, on the show, at least because I am the boxing prophet. I don't see Malignaggi posing much of a threat to Broner. I think Broner wins that fight convincingly. I'll give my official pick at the end of the show. But in a perfect world, I would love to see Sugar Shane Mosley and Adrian Broner fight sometime. I guess maybe next year, and it would be great to see the old school guy sort of knock the young kid back down to earth if you catch my drift.
I will. I promise. I'm going to do that with a lot of fighters. They're going to really think that something is going to be. It's a lot different with me right now. I really have that fire, and I'm ready to go.
Thanks, Sugar Shane. All the best to you.
Yeah, no problem.
Shane, is there something else that you want to say? You want to shout out to anybody while you're on here, or anything else? Because we've had a great time.
Thank you. No, I just wanted to say that, I'm like I was telling him now that I'm ready to go. I'm taking it very seriously, and I'm ready to fight any and everybody out there, especially at 147. I'm aiming to get the world title, the championship, and that's my goal. And I'm not going to stop until I get that.
Well, I know it's going to happen, and you heard the prophecy from the prophet. So maybe it will be Broner, or maybe we'll be surprised and it'll be someone equally as good. But yeah, you definitely deserve that after all that you've given to the sport, Shane. Of course, definitely. But is there anything that you're doing that you want people to know about, or anything while you're on here?
Well, I mean, I'm working with my sister, the Diamonds Love Foundation, and we're doing that. We're getting the boxing gym built in Pomona.
Say
that
name again. Hold on. Say the name again.
The Diamonds Love Foundation. The Diamonds Love Foundation in
and
Pomona.
What is that?
It's a foundation for the deprived kids and the kids that they help, and also the boxing club that we're building right there, so we can have a lot of the kids in Pomona and abroad, start learn how to box. And I'm always there training and helping the kids. So
that's wonderful. So it's called the Diamonds Love Foundation.
Diamonds Love, yeah, Diamonds Love Foundation.
Because I'm sure you could always use contributions. So is there a website or anything that people
definitely.
could?
I believe it's DiamondsLove.org, or you can
.org. Okay.
.org. You can contact my sister Serena Mosley. She's actually the the CEO. She runs the program for the Diamonds Love Foundation.
Okay, if you can always Google Diamonds Love Foundation if you want to contribute or find out more information, because that sounds like a fantastic organization, and I love that. I love to hear that, Shane. And you're opening a gym? Yeah. Is that in Pomona as well?
Yeah, I'll be opening a gym in Pomona, and we're trying to get the gym built. Get a gym built right now for all the kids and stuff in Pomona to come down, and for our fighters as well. And it's looking good. Yeah.
That's excellent. I want to thank you so much for coming on. It's really great to talk to you, and it's interesting, and, you're going to get that title shot, Shane. I know you are. They can ask me.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm working hard.
Okay, and when you know what you're going to do next, or if there's anything else with your foundation, please, you, your sister, your dad, you guys come on the show and talk about it.
We definitely will. I'll definitely let them know, and we'll do it. Okay.
Well, thank you. And so we'll talk again soon, or I'll probably be refereeing and judging over there when you have another show. But
that's
it's
right.
good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Nice talking to you, too. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care, Shane.
Thank
you. All right. When we come back, we're going to come back with K9 Cornelius Bundrage. I got to get your name right. So we're coming back with K9 after the commercial. We'll talk to you in just a minute. Hold on. Don't leave. Come back.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Hello and welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 18. I'm Christy Rosario, your host here in Los Angeles, here with the boxing prophet from New York City. And we have another special guest. We just heard from Shane Mosley. Very interesting conversation. I loved it, and now I'm going to love this equally because we have the K9, K9 Cornelius Bundrage. I've been practicing your name, K9.
You got it right.
Okay, do that again. I love it. So
the dog is coming. Yeah.
The dog is coming. Oh, it's so good to have you on the show. How are you?
Oh, Chrissy, thanks for having me. I feel real good.
This is fantastic. Well, let me I'm sure everyone knows who you are because I was reading all about you and people love you, but you've won 32 fights. You've had 19 KOs. You've only lost 5. And, and you are looking to, I think, to fight Miguel Cotto. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, I'm off the leash. I'm unchained. You know how it goes. Yeah.
I know how it goes. So you're going to have to give us more than that. Yeah. Come on now, K9.
No. You know what? They got me on the muzzle as far as that fight. You know, but all you gotta do is read what's going on. But yeah, they got me on the muzzle when it comes to like talking about that fight. That's the reason why I haven't said nothing. I mean, I've been contacted to do a lot of interviews, but I haven't because it's a lot of stuff that's going on behind closed doors.
It's very political, isn't it?
Man, it's very political. Very political.
What? There's so many people that want to see this fight. You are definitely perfect to fight Cotto. And, I have to tell you, Cotto, I have just loved him for years. But, he's married. But beside the point, I think you two would be And don't worry, I respect marriage, unlike some people that we know from Vegas.
Hey. Exactly. Tell Floyd I said glove up. Yeah.
Glove up,
the dog
Floyd.
Is coming.
Did he ever apologize for that? Did he ever apologize to you?
No, he never did. I mean, I don't know if he ever tried to contact me or what, but we'll make him apologize in the ring.
Well, let's tell people what happened. So you're fighting Ishe Smith. Tell me if I'm wrong. And then Floyd Mayweather is clowning your wife. I mean, I've seen pictures.
Oh, man, you talking about disrespect on top of disrespect? I mean, I'm in the ring and I'm fighting Ishe Smith. And he's in the background, taunting my wife, dancing behind her like he a stripper. I mean, it was crazy. This was right here when I was defending my belt. A lot of people didn't see, everything that was happening. They just think that Ishe Smith just won the fight. And technically, he didn't even win the fight. I mean, I feel like that fight was bought because, Floyd was, influencing the judges. He was influencing the commissioners. I mean, how can you get away with the stuff that he was doing? I don't even think like the Showtime commentators was actually concentrating on my fight because of what he was doing outside the fight. He trying to take a picture with my wife, just anything to win the belt, anything to distract me, anything to get her not to say nothing because she's my biggest support. She's not only my manager, she's like my co-trainer too because she can see stuff that other fighters or my other trainers might not see because she know me good and I schooled her a lot in this boxing. It just was a crazy night. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I thought you're supposed to take the belt from the champ. I didn't know that you can be the champ in his hometown on a split decision. Split decision, okay, that's going to the champ. No. That's why people in big places kept telling me, you got to knock him out, champ. You got to knock him out. And I'm thinking he got to knock me out because I'm the champ. So, just a whole lot of stuff going on in this boxing. And in my fight and the situation with me and Cotto fighting, I mean, it's just a whole lot of stuff going on. But I tell you this much, God for you, who can be against you? Nobody.
That's true. That's true. But I want to ask you, so when you're fighting Ishe, do you see what's happening? You could see Floyd dancing like a stripper and clowning your wife?
To be honest with you, I didn't see that. I didn't see that part. I was just told about it. But he was still like you know, he was still saying things like, K9, you ain't that, you a mutt, you this, you that. He was still saying stuff, you know, while I'm actually fighting. And, you know, him being a promoter, he wasn't supposed to be able to be that close to the ring and be able to say nothing, you know. But, you know, I guess, you know, Detroit, we haven't had a big fight, and you know how the economy is right now in our city and all around the world. But really, in our city, we haven't had nothing that big in so long that I don't think that the commissioners in my city was ready for something like that. On Showtime, World Championship fight, K9 from the Contender, doing it big at the crib, at the Masonic Temple. What? People was losing their mind. It was so much stuff going. It was so much stuff going on, man. It was, man. I mean, you would think we was at the club, man. It was cats in the audience smoking weed. It was some. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, super crazy. It was. I mean, not with a cape. It was super crazy. See, Superman just came out. It was super crazy.
Super crazy.
Yeah,
So, okay, It was in Detroit, and you're saying, you know, the economy has been bad everywhere, and probably especially Detroit. So are you kind of trying to say that since Mayweather Promotions, it was a lot of influence in that direction?
Oh yeah. If you go look at my fight, and you go look at when I hit Ishe Smith, I dropped Ishe Smith. The first time he ever been dropped, he always come up, he ain't never been hurt, ain't never been dropped. Go look at that replay and see I dropped him. The referee took a point from me. You know, I threw a punch at him when he was down, but when I looked at the replay, when I got home, I missed him. But then he grabbed his side because that's where I hit him at. And I heard he already had a side injury. So when I hit him in that same side, he grabbed his side, I fell. I threw a punch while he was down and missed, and the referee took a point from me. He knew he was so wrong at what he had did that he didn't even look at me when he took the point.
I don't like that happens. I mean, I know, you know, I referee, so I know sometimes we do not see things, but I know what you're saying. And, you know, the fight was very close. Well, to me, I thought it was close. Majority decision. It was 111-116 from Herb Santos. Dave Hess had it 114-114, and Gerard White had it 111-116. But you know that fight was closer than that by the other two judges.
Exactly. If you go look at the judges, right, one of the judges, which my trainer was telling me, he said, I do not feel comfortable with him being a judge. So if you didn't feel comfortable about him being a judge, you should have did something about that. And because
which judge are you talking about?
The judge from Michigan. He don't like crunks. So, you know, he wasn't going with us no way. So, you know, I say, wow. And then the judge from Vegas, you already know who they going with. They going with Floyd. Now, the mutual judge, who wasn't from Vegas, who wasn't from Detroit, she said I won. She had me up. Or he had me up. So I'm like, man.
Maybe, are you talking about Dave Hess? He had it 114-114.
Oh, he did? Okay. I know one judge called it fair. That judge was like, hey, you know, that, yeah. So, you know, but what can you do? All you can do is go out there and just get ready for the next match. You know, give God the glory like I did, and you know, and just move forward. You know, I beat that man with one arm. You know, I didn't want to complain and talk about it after the fight, so people would think I was making excuses. But going into the fight, I had a left arm that was injured. So once they had said that Alexander and Brock had pulled out because of injury, I was kind of happy because I said, okay, maybe I could postpone the fight. But once I talked to Golden Boy, they said, oh no, you the head guy now, you the main event. I was like, oh man, you know, but you know, it is what it is. What can you do? It
is what it is. So you are the IBF light middleweight, former light middleweight champion, and you actually, I'm looking at you defended your title quite a few times and against some really good fighters, Corey Spinks, Saku Powell. I remember Saku. You stopped Corey Spinks twice. Wow, you're just. Exactly. I know you're a great fighter.
That's right. I feel like I'm still a champ because, you know, like I say, to beat the champ, you got to take the belt from the champ. You know, you can't do it like that. When I got the belt from Corey Spinks, I went and knocked Corey Spinks out in his hometown. When Ishe came to my hometown, he ain't knocked me out. I dropped him. He ain't dropped me. How you get the belt? You got to take the belt from the champ. That's why I'm still a champ. I'm the champ warrior. You know what I mean? I'm the champ warrior. I'm I'm the Christian champ now, and that's okay, because with God, like I say, all things are possible, and this fight with Cotto is actually bigger than the fight that I had with him. So once me and Cotto get down, you know what I'm saying, and I handle my business, then we're going to get the guy who got it all started. We ain't talking about MC Hammer. Let's get it started. No. We talking about Floyd. I got to show them I'm the best fighter. I'm the best fighter in Michigan.
So it's going to come down to you and Floyd eventually, huh?
Oh, yeah. All you got to do is get past Canelo, you know what I mean? And, it's going down. I ain't going nowhere. God don't let one door close or open up another one. It might have been a blessing in disguise, actually, for Ishay Smith to get that fight because in one of his particular fights, he was trying to get, he was saying since he didn't get the fight that he was thinking about killing himself. So can you imagine what had happened if he wouldn't got that belt? Because he wanted to please Floyd so bad that he had to do whatever it takes to get that belt. If he wouldn't got that belt, man, he probably, no telling what he would have did. You see after he got the belt, he's, I want to thank my daddy Floyd. Quit all that crime, man. Boy, you better quit that.
You need to do stand-up, K9.
Hey,
you're better than listening.
I was in the ring, and they was texting me like, man, tell that boy to quit crying. What's wrong with him?
You're better than listening to Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner. I like listening to you. You're good. You're very good. Man. So who do you have between Ishay Smith and Carlos Molina?
You know what? I'm probably going to call. We get off the phone, I'll probably call Carlos Molina and tell Carlos Molina to go ahead and get that belt so I can take it from him.
Yeah, we had Carlos on. Yeah. Him and his brothers were on a couple of weeks ago. So you have Carlos winning this fight, huh? Okay,
yeah, but you know what? I mean, Mayweather and them I believe is promoting the fight, so you never know. Like I say, how crooked and crazy boxing is. You know what I mean? So if Carlos Molina don't knock him out, they might get a fight to Ishay again because the promoter is Mayweather. If you look at when I fought Corey Spinks, right? I dropped Corey Spinks like 2 or 3 times. They still had me losing the fight. The last fight I just had before I knocked him out, they had me losing.
Oh, wow.
Boxing
you TKO 7th round, the last one. Yeah, and then the first time you fought was in the 5th round. You TKO'd him. Yeah.
Exactly. Teddy Atlas has said it. Teddy Atlas said when Corey Spinks fought, he fought Carlos Molina. When Carlos Molina beat him, of course he had my leftovers. Teddy Atlas said, do you know that when Corey Spinks was fighting K9, he was saying this on ESPN too. Do you know that K9 dropped Corey Spinks a few times and they had him actually losing the fight?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a dirty game. You just got to know how to play it. That's all,
You have to know how to play it.
You got to know how to play it. We're going to settle this like we got some class, though. We're gonna settle this in the ring. That's all. Hey. It is what it is. What can I do? I can't reverse nothing. It happened for, everything happened for a reason, and, I just look forward to the future. I got my shoe coming out. I got the K9 Warrior shoe coming out. It should be out this fall. I got me a couple of pairs just to actually try them on, and they fit good. They comfortable. They light. So, I might have to send you a pair so you can go ahead and knock somebody out.
I would love that. Oh, my God. Yeah, I might knock someone out with that. But are they for boxing? Are they running shoes, or what are they? Heels?
Yeah, they boxing shoes. Like, they boxing shoes. I'm finna have a running shoe coming out, too. You gotta have a running shoe because you got to get in shape with jogging and all that. So you got to have a boxing shoe and a running shoe.
I love that. Oh, my God. And what colors do they come in? What color do you have? Or colors, or what does it look like?
Right now, I have the red and black, and I have the blue and white. But we're gonna have just every color. We're gonna have them for women. We're gonna have every color there is. Every color. We might even think of a different color. We might make up a color. Yep. So
they sound fantastic. So is your wife behind this about marketing the new shoes?
Oh yeah, my wife is behind it. Dollar Bill, who's my advisor, he's behind it. I mean, it's a lot of things we're doing. I'm gonna make sure that I'm making a difference in boxing, not just in the ring, but outside the ring too. And with the time that I have, and rehealing my arm and getting ready for my next fight, I'm able to just, do some things outside boxing, which a lot of fighters don't do. Like I got my corporation. I'm actually setting up a foundation for retired military dogs. It's going to be called the K9 military, for the dogs, for the K9s.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah, I can't actually look at the name right now, but yeah, we gonna, a lot of the retired K9s, they be getting put down and they don't get taken care of. So we about to make sure that they get taken care of. Me and Team K9 got a book coming
terrible.
out.
So wait, K9, hold on. Before you go on, I want to ask you about about the retired veteran dogs. So they're putting the dogs down, and they.
From what I was hearing, they be putting the dogs down and everything, and I just want to raise awareness and do all I can to help the K9s. If you notice my last fight, I came in the ring with the K9s, and I'm K9, so it all goes hand in hand.
No, but I love that because it's like, come on, this dog serves and helps just like, a veteran. You're not going to put a veteran down. You don't put a dog down. That's terrible. That's healthy.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm glad that you're representing them. That's good. I'll tell my mom. She'll like it too. What's the book, K9? Tell me about the book.
The book is going to be Don't Bark If You Can't Bite. Yeah, it's finished. Yeah. That's for all these copycats out here. All these haters and copycats, and you know what I'm saying. It's for don't bark if you can't bite. You know what I mean? The dog is still coming. I'm still unleashed. I ain't going nowhere. They hate it too. 40 is the new 25.
Oh, I know that. I love that. 40 is definitely the new 25. I'm telling you,
that's right.
It's true. I mean, look at Shane. Look at you guys. I mean, staying at 25. I hear you. But now tell me, is this book going to be? Is it a biography? What is it about?
No. It's a book. It's about my life. It's about my life. How I came up. I mean, it's very, very, very interesting. I believe that actually. They put me on a contender, or they selected me on a contender because of my story. It was because of my looks. It was because of my looks too. I'm handsome. You know what I mean? But I'm cut up like what up. So but really it was really my story too. I've been through a whole lot. So when you read this Don't Bark If You Can't Bite, you're gonna say, wow. It's a whole lot. Don't forget, I'm from Detroit, from the hood to Hollywood.
The hood to Hollywood. Okay, so let's tell everyone who I'm sure everyone knows, but you were in the second season of The Contender, and do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know you were like one. I mean, I read that you were one of their favorites. The audience loved you. So
that's right.
How was that experience?
I was the fan favorite for on The Contender season 2, and like I told them, the first should be last and last should be first. I was the last one picked when we did the little schoolyard pick. Where the gold team. I think the captain of the gold team was I don't know, Grady Boo, but anyway, we had a schoolyard pick. I got picked last. I remember the scripture. God hit me with that scripture. The first should be last, the last should be first. So I was the last one picked. I was the first one to win. I beat Michael Clark. Michael Clark was talking about how he's gonna send me back home to Detroit barking, and I'm the weakest link, and he just was blazing me. And then I put him on his head, and I won for the blue team. And at the end, I won a bronze medal. I didn't win the whole thing, but I won a bronze medal. But I told you the first should be last, the last should be first. So I was the first one out of season 2 of The Contender to become world champ. But it was big. Yeah. It was viewed by millions of people per week. So even though I wasn't rich at that time, I would be walking down the street. I remember I was in L.A., and I felt so good because the bus driver pulled back and said, K9. I said, oh, they know me. I felt like I was Michael Jackson when I fought over in UK. And the crowd, when I came through the tunnel, they was like, K9. I said, oh, yeah, it's on. It's on. And then he go one that's going to trip you out right here because, me and Floyd done crossed paths a few times. I remember him and Oscar De La Hoya was finna get ready to fight, right? And I went down there because they was doing. I went downtown because they was doing press conferences downtown. So I went down there just to see, see how the hype was gonna be and see, if Floyd was gonna be tough like he be on TV or whatever this and that. But I sat down in the front row. They taking pictures of me because at that time I was super hot. I was just off The Contender. They like K9. I was a broke celebrity. They like K9. I was signing autographs. But anyway, Floyd was saying K9. I seen the power. He said, Roberto Bravo, he had your leftovers. So when he said K9, I seen the power, I knew right then and there that I was a threat to him and to whoever else. So one thing about it, when I fought his fighter, which is E.J. Smith, and he was saying, they was asking him about, do you know K9? He's like, no, I ain't never seen no fight before. Come on, man. How did you see the power then? K9, I seen the power. I'm going to rewind that. K9, I seen the power. Yeah, okay.
I'm glad that you wrote a book. I have to read that book because you are funny. And, I know you are powerful, known for that powerful right hand. You are a powerful guy.
Oh, man, trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet. Believe me, it's just the beginning. I'm a lot hungrier than I was. I got a little, I can't say bored, but I got a little relaxed being a world champion for 3 years in a row. I mean, I was world champion for 3 years. And every fight that I had was supposed to be the hardest fight because I was on a contract with Don King, and being on the contract with Don King, I only had 2 fights with him, so I wasn't getting any fights. So because if I would have fought, then the contract would have been up because I would have got the 2 fights. So I wasn't fighting. So every time I did fight, it was a mandatory fight. Mandatory is the hardest fight you can have, the number 1 guy. So my very first fight, I fought against the guy I lost my first fight to on Showtime, which was Saku Powell, which when we had a double knockdown, it was like a movie. I mean, unfortunately, I was the bad guy in the movie. I mean, it was terrible. It's hard to look at that fight to this day. But anyway, I got him back, and, man, that felt so good. Then I fought Corey Spinks again, another mandatory fight. Now, how did Corey Spinks end up getting that shot again after I had just put him away in St. Louis? That's boxing. But anyway,
that's boxing. But K9, hold on just a second. Hold on, K9. Can you hang on for a minute because we have to go to a commercial, but I have 2 guys that want to ask you questions. Will you stay on just for about a minute or 2 while we go to a commercial?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, we'll be back with K9. Good job. Thank you. We'll be right back. We're going to go to a commercial. Please, if you'd like to call, 347-324-5998. Again, call 347-324-5998. You can find us at Twitter at Real Combat Media or at my Twitter at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, or Facebook at Real Combat Media. Stay tuned for more K9 in just a minute.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 18. I'm Christy Rosario, your host here in Los Angeles. You can call at 347-324-5998, 347-324-5998. Twitter us at Real Combat Media. I'm at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, or Facebook, Real Combat Media. And want to welcome back K9. We've been having a great conversation. K9, you're still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. Unleashed.
Okay, well, all right, I want to hand it over for a couple questions. We have
Richard, the boxing prophet Solomon, and Richie Jones. So the prophet is from New York, and Richie Jones is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's start with the prophet. What would you like to ask?
How are you, K9?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay, and I somehow, some way, I got to get that bark of yours on my ringtones from my cell phone.
That's right. Yeah, the dog is coming.
I love it.
I wanted to ask you, first I wanted to compliment you because I saw the whole second season of The Contender. You were always my favorite. People don't realize that you were undefeated for 10 years with a very impressive record of 21-0, 13 knockouts, and that's how you got the name K9. Because
tell him again. Tell him again, son. Tell him again. That's right.
You had that reputation. Right. You had a reputation of being a dog inside the ring. You were undefeated. You were my favorite. And then, of course, they gave Grady Brewer that very, very controversial split decision victory in the semifinals of Season 2, which kind of broke my heart and got me pissed off all at the same time. But
man, you're right. Politics. No, I'm telling you, politics, man. Go ahead, finish up. Hey, you sounding real good, brother.
And also, it's no coincidence that on a previous show we spoke about J. Leon Love against Rosado. J. Leon Love also being a Floyd Mayweather protege. It was very, very hard for me to predict that fight because I really liked Rosado to win. But as soon as I found out that J. Leon Love was a protege of Floyd, I knew he was going to get the benefit of the doubt, just like Ishe Smith got the benefit of the doubt when he fought you. It's just basically a sign of the times in the boxing world.
Hey, look, you're absolutely right, brother. You're absolutely right. You done did your homework.
I try my best, but I want to ask you in terms of your victories. I know it sounds like a crazy question, but from a personal standpoint, you knock out Corey Spinks twice. The first time you knock him out in the 5th round. You win the junior middleweight championship of the world. However, is that victory as satisfying as getting revenge on Suku Powell? Because you did get to avenge one of your few losses by beating Powell by a relatively easy decision in the rematch. Was that victory in some way, shape, or form sweeter than winning the title against Spinks because you did get to avenge a defeat?
You know what? I have to actually say, to me, they both were the same. Because being a world champion, I mean, I don't think it really gets no better than that. I mean, especially coming from the hood, I didn't graduate. You know, I'm supposed to be dead or in jail for life. And I became a world champion, but then losing the first fight, losing for the first time on Showtime, the way I lost. I mean, I was on the basketball court, and I was telling a young guy, man, watch out. And he was like, that's why you got knocked out. So to revenge that was nice, too. That's why I had to compare both of them and put them at the top. They both are on the same level.
Gotcha. And, you know, a lot of people have been asking me, why should Miguel Cotto face K9? And I tell them, K9 is a very personable fighter. He's a very crowd-pleasing fighter. Styles make fights. I think you against Cotto would be a war of attrition. The hungrier, the fighter who wants it more, the hungrier fighter will probably win at the end of the day. And let's not forget, for all the naysayers out there, K9 has been in the ring against 7 former world champs. So your resume actually speaks for itself. But my final question to you is, I've heard rumors swirling around social media that as of this second, you're out on the free agent market, that you don't have a manager and you don't have a promoter. Is this true? My first question to you is this true?
No, it's not true. My wife is my manager, and I still have one fight with Golden Boy, but it's a lot to that. You know, it's supposed to be a TV fight because since I wasn't able to get the rematch with Ishe Smith, I put in the contract that they have to fight me again on TV right away. So, you know, they offered me a fight with the Charlo guy, and the money wasn't right, the situation wasn't right, Plus, this Cotto fight is on the table, so it made no sense. But no, I mean, to a certain extent, it's like I'm a free agent because one fight is one fight, but if you don't give me no fight within a certain amount of time, then it's like I'm able to do what I want to do. I mean, so, but the manager part, I do have a manager. My manager is my wife, and
gotcha.
She's doing a good job too. I respect her because she's not just my wife. She's doing a real good job, what we're managing. I mean, and she's being mentored too in the management game because it's not that much respect for women. They don't get the same kind of respect if you notice in basketball and nothing that they do. And hey, we gotta give it up to them. Obama not running the White House. It's Michelle.
Exactly. Good. I like that.
And we have a female named Christy Rosario who's the host of this program. So women rule.
Hey, man, give it up to Christy. Hey, Christy, I like her. She is my, I don't want to say dog, but she's my cat. Let's say it like that then.
Oh, thank you.
She's my dog. She's my dog with double G. Double G, yeah. She did a good job.
I don't think I do that well. Do it for you, K9.
My final question to you is if the Cotto fight doesn't materialize, do you want to step into the ring right away with the winner of the Molina-Ishe Smith fight, or would you rather take a tune-up fight before facing the winner of that fight?
Man, let me tell you something. I'm ready for anybody. I just want. I'm in a point in my career where I want to fight the best. I don't look to fight nobody where I'm a stepping stone for them. I want to fight the best. I mean, I feel like I earned my right to be in there with the Floyds of the world, the Cottos of the world, the Canelos of the world, the Sergio Martinez of the world. Because, like I say, I was a world champion for 3 years in a row. If I'm such an easy fighter or I can't fight, how did I become world champion? Why is everybody and their daddy and cousin and brother and sister and auntie ducking me? They've been ducking me. Now they can easily say, well, we don't want to fight him. He's 20 years old, and he lost to Ishe Smith. I fought Ishe Smith and beat him with one arm. One arm. But, hey, it was left up to the judges, which I learned that I'm not leaving it up to the judges no more. My next fight, somebody's going down. Somebody going to get it. If you notice, you've been watching my career. If I lose one fight or I get cheated out of a fight, the very next fight, somebody get their head knocked off. You notice that, right?
It's true. It's a valid point. The man speaks the truth. Well, I just hope whatever happens, I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully the Cotto fight will take place because I live in New York, and if it does happen, I believe it's supposed to take place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, so you can count me in. I'll be sitting there with ringside rooting you on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got to, man, and I appreciate you, too, because you've been following a good man, man. I just try to get a crowd and the fans my best, and I try to make sure I'm a gentleman inside the ring and outside the ring, man. I just try to keep it 100. And, how can you go against a brother like me? I grew up with nothing. I'm talking about I never had a daddy. I mean, and I'm not flamboyant. When I won and became world champion, I stayed humble. I didn't go out there and burn money up, make it rain, and flush money down the toilet. I didn't do no stuff like that. And I've come from the hood. So just because I'm from the hood don't mean I got to be ignorant and dumb and stupid and I'm this, I'm that. It ain't about just me. It's about us.
So, can you give us any tidbits, any little thing as far as you and Cotto? Like, is it 90% certain? Come on.
Let me see. What can I give you? I can tell you this much. Somebody has agreed to fight. Let's put it that way. Somebody has agreed to fight. I can tell you that much. We have somebody done agreed to fight. I just, like I say, the muscle just on me so strong. You know what I mean? It ain't like I just say like this. It ain't like my name is next to his name for nothing. You know what I mean? It ain't next to his name for nothing. If you go look at BoxRec, on BoxRec, it says Cornelius Bundrage fighting Cotto September 28th. How did that get out there? I didn't put that out there, It had to be somebody that got a real update or conversation on what is going on and what somebody is saying. And somebody that's really up there, said that and did that and put that together. It's just that, it's a lot of haters out here. That's why, you probably haven't heard, me say a whole lot about what I want to talk about, and you probably haven't heard enough from Cotto because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of hating, a lot of blackballing, it's a lot of stuff going on, y'all, I'm telling you.
Well,
that's why I've been on my knees.
Wants to fight. Well, K9, you want to fight Cotto, and you've heard that Cotto wants to fight you, right?
Exactly. There you go.
Okay.
Now you're talking. See,
all right. So
right.
we got to make it happen now. I mean, if you both want to
we
fight
gotta make
each
it
other,
happen now. We got to right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
you know,
put that.
Go ahead.
No. I was just I was echoing what you said.
Yeah, of course. And I want it like the old days, like Hagler and Hearns and Duran. I want people to fight because they're supposed to fight each other and not duck each other and fight the other guy because you think you're going to beat him. So we have to get you and Cody together. That would be a good fight. A very good fight.
Exactly. Because one thing about it, boy, Styles, like he was just saying, like my man was just saying, Styles makes fights. I'm a fighter, he a fighter. You know, my last fight, you know, we talking about a fighter and a so-called boxer. He's going to be running, holding, and playing a chess game. Man, forget playing chess. Let's fight. You know what I mean? We ain't going to play no chess. Let's just fight. Forget throwing jabs. You know, we ain't got to throw no jabs. Let's just throw bombs. Bombs like Hiroshima. You know, let's make it Iraq in the ring at the Barclays Center in New York. K9 versus Cotto. The dog is coming unleashed, unchained. Warrior versus Warrior. Hagler versus Tommy Hearns. That's what I'm talking about. War. What's that? War versus Gaddy. Let's do it. Diego Corrales.
Yes.
Diego Corrales versus Castilla.
That's right. Those were fights. Those were fights that you wanted to see, huh? Those were fights.
Yeah. I'm the Iron Man. You'll see. I'm telling you, it's going down, man. I'm gonna show the world. And then another thing, you know, y'all take your hat off to me, is that I got to this position. I mean, you know, Matthew Stewart was a great trainer, but I got to this position on my own. It was nothing but God that got me to that position. He came along at the time when I was about to fight for the world title. You know what I mean? So I really never really had a real trainer. I really trained myself. Even to this day, it's like I train myself. I have coaches and I have somebody that got to work in my corner, but, man, I got here, you know what I'm saying, with God's help. I trained myself.
Well, you get a lot of credit for that, that's for sure. Do you have anything else you want to tell us? Because you've talked about your book and your your shoes and anything else that you want to do. Shout out to anybody or anything before we have to go? Because it's been great talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Just follow me on K9 Twitter, and K9 Boxing. You know, I thought we had someone else that wanted to talk to me. I know I talked to one person other than you.
I did, and you know what happened? I don't know what happened. I think he dropped the call. You know, sometimes people get kicked off by accident. I think he got kicked off, and I was telling them to come back, but I don't know what happened. I know. I wanted him to ask a question, too.
Oh, well, at least you know I ain't punch drunk. You see, I remembered that, didn't I?
You are not punch drunk. You are great, and you're funny, and you're intelligent, and I want you and Cotto to fight. So I'm really hoping it happens.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let me tell you one thing about me, too, is that I don't just fight just for the money. I fight to win. I don't fight to, you know, a lot of guys, they want that fight because they want to get paid and this and that. And I know the get paid, that's last to me. Winning is more important than getting paid. So I wouldn't be there just to show up and say, oh, I'm going to fight. This is my last fight. K9 finally gets a payday. No, I'm trying to go out there and do damage. I'm trying to have people say, man, K9, a monster out here in the game, for real.
Well, I know you are, and you're going to do everything that you want to do. I can tell because you are definitely ambitious and you go through it all. So, thank you so much for coming on. And please, when you can talk about your fight, will you come back?
Oh yes, listen. So you might hear more about it than me. The internet gets everything before I get it. You know, so you might hear more about it than me. You might be calling me back in 10 minutes. Hey, I heard they just and that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you might call me before I call you, but anytime, Christy, it was fun talking to you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, and keep me in your prayers. Jesus for life.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Don't bark if you can't bite.
Exactly. Don't bark if you can't bite. And when will this book be coming out?
That I don't know. I mean, like I said, the book is finished. I got to just go ahead and just put it out now. I actually had a young lady who I was gonna have put it out, but she was trying to get over on me, so I had to let her know I own the book. She was trying to, because I didn't know a lot of fighters are ignorant to certain things, and I just wanted to get a book out here, so I put it out here. Like I actually thought about putting it out here like 5 years ago, so it's been like 4, 5, 6 years it took for me to write the book, but I finished it. But I signed a contract with her, and she probably had the rights over the book. So now I just got her to release that the book is all the way mine. So now I'm about to put it out here. I just don't know exactly when. But it'll be before this year.
Well, when it comes out and you start like touring around talking about your book, come on and talk more about your book as well, because it sounds very interesting. Tell me the title again.
Don't bark if you can't bite.
Don't bark if you can't bite. I like that. That's perfect. Well, thank you very much. I have to go to another commercial, but thank you for coming on. It's really good to talk to you. Thank you.
And my man's going to tell him I said what's up.
Okay. You hear that, Prophet?
All right.
Hey, K9, I want to wear, when you beat Colo in September, I want to wear that chain around my neck.
Oh, you got it, brother. You got it. I'm going to give you a bone, too.
All right.
I love it. Take care. Thank you for coming on. And
thanks for having me anytime. Okay.
Anytime. Thank you. Bye-bye. So stay tuned. We're going to still have more to come. You can call us at 347-324-5998. You can Twitter us at Real Combat Media, or you can come to my Twitter at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, and Facebook, Real Combat Media. We're going to come back and talk about Mikey Garcia and Juanma Lopez, Sakia Bika and Marco Antonio Peridotban, Jonathan Banks and Seth Mitchell, and Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner. Should be interesting. And Jessica, of course. We'll talk to you in about a minute and 32 seconds.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 18, and I'm Christy Rosario, still here in Los Angeles. I'm here with Richard Solomon, the Boxing Prophet. You can call us at 347-324-5998. Twitter us at Real Combat Media. My Twitter is at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, and Facebook at Real Combat Media. We've had a fantastic show so far. I really enjoyed talking to Sugar Shane Mosley and K9, Cornelius Bundrage. I sure hope I said that right. Did you enjoy talking to our two guests today, Prophet?
It's great. It doesn't get any better than this. You have one bona fide Hall of Famer, followed by one of the most charismatic fighters in the sport today.
They're both both of them were charismatic, but K9 is funny. He could do stand-up. I really enjoyed listening to him. He's just, and then Sugar Shane Mosley is just an all-around great guy as well. So we had two fantastic guests today, and now we got to move on to talk about Mikey Garcia and Juanma Lopez. What did you think of the fight, Prophet?
Well, I thought the fact that Garcia didn't make the weight was kind of a downer. It's sort of I didn't think Juanma had a shot to win the fight. Anyway, my pick going in was Garcia by TKO inside of 6 rounds. Juan Manuel Lopez is a fighter whose best days are way, way behind him. He's on the borderline of being a shot fighter, and if he's smart, he'll definitely retire, and he won't step into the professional boxing ring again. But the fact that Garcia didn't make weight disturbed me. You know, he was on our show a couple of weeks ago and said that training camp was going well, that he would be able to make the weight. And Max Kellerman made a good point on the HBO telecast that a lot of A-class elite fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner and now Mikey Garcia just, you know, maybe, I don't want to say don't try to make the weight, but maybe don't care that they don't make the weight. My only beef with that is if you can't make the weight, then don't schedule the fight for that particular weight class. Have it at a different weight class, because it wasn't really fair to Juan Manuel Lopez that he had to train himself to make the weight, and Mikey didn't. So it was kind of an unfair fight from the very get-go. But, you know, once the opening bell rang, you saw Juan Manuel Lopez showed no head movement whatsoever. His trainer encouraged him in between rounds to move his torso, to duck some of Garcia's jabs. He didn't, and he was just a walking duck, and he got nailed in the second round with a jab followed by a beautiful right hand by Garcia, and he was just stopped in the fourth round. It was a very, very uneventful kind of fight, and basically for the second weekend in a row, HBO pretty much had a very uninspiring telecast. You know, with Dawson against Stevenson, and now Garcia against Juan Manuel Lopez. And let's not forget, HBO was off to that torrid start with Rios Alvarado and Braley Provatnikov. Now it seems like they've dropped the ball with very, very lackluster telecast the past couple of weeks.
Well, it's interesting what you say, though, about the whole weight. And, you know, I like Mikey Garcia very much, and I was bummed that he didn't make weight, but of course you don't want him, I mean, he was throwing up, and you don't want him to get dehydrated and sick. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I was listening to Max Kellerman, and he had a good point by saying, you know, well, some fighters have enough money, they can just pay. So I think they paid, $140,000 to Juanma Lopez, you know, because Juanma had to dehydrate and get to that weight, and Mikey gets to fight pretty much, probably not his natural weight, but, you know, with a 2-pound allowance. So, yeah, that was a little disappointing.
Yeah, it definitely was a 6-figure payday that Juanma got. But, you know, Mikey Garcia is still, at least on my list, he's in my top 25, one of the elite pound-for-pound wise. He's one of the elite fighters in the game today, and I don't think that he should stay at featherweight. I don't even think he should go for the title now. Now that he beat Juanma, that title is vacant now. I think he should move up to junior lightweight. He has plenty of options. He can face Rocky Martinez, who happens to be Puerto Rican, so you can ignite the Puerto Rican-Mexican war once again. Or he can fight Yuriorkis Gamboa, who to me looked very, very uninspired in his performance a couple of weeks ago on HBO. As a matter of fact, I had him barely winning that fight by a point, and I wouldn't have been bummed at all if that fight had been ruled a draw. That's how competitive I thought it was. So Mikey Garcia does indeed have options if he moves up to junior lightweight, and I think he should.
Yeah, but I believe he said that he's not going to right now. I think he's going to try and at least come back and get his title. I have a feeling he's going to stay at that weight. But I agree, if he's suffering to get to that weight, and I know every boxer goes through, you know, some sort of weight loss, but if you're going to get to the point where you're going to make yourself sick and look like a little skeleton, then I agree, you should go up in weight class. That's just not healthy. You know, your brain, that's terrible.
Yeah,
so,
and the last thing you want to see is Mikey trying to make the weight and then draining himself, and then he comes back and he loses, and then maybe he uses that as an excuse. Oh, I tried to, you know, silence all the critics that said I couldn't make it at featherweight anymore, and my body ultimately gave out on me and I lost. I don't want to see him, you know, a fighter of that level make any excuses. You know, if you feel that you can no longer make the weight, don't do it just to please, you know, your father or or your promoter. Do what's in your best interest. So I would advise him, if I was his promoter or manager, to definitely move up to the junior lightweight division. It's probably better for his body. He's a young kid. Hello?
I'm here. You're right. He is definitely a young kid. And I'm sorry, my button was on mute. And now I think I lost I lost the boxing prophet too. So anyways, he is definitely a young kid, and he needs to. I don't know why that always happens, that I lose all my guys. Okay, I think the prophet is back. Okay. Are you there, prophet? I lost you.
Yeah, I'm back. We kind of got disconnected there for a second.
Okay. So, yeah, but anyways, I was saying to no one in particular, all the people that are listening, that yeah, I agree. I mean, he's young, and you don't want to see someone get sick like that to make weight. If that's the case, he should go up in weight. I agree with you. Definitely.
And he does have back-to-back performances which are very, very solid. You know, Salido, Juan Manuel Lopez stopped both of them in one-sided fashion. You know, sky's the limit for this kid. He just has to move up in weight. There are viable challengers at junior lightweight, and he'll go on and have a very successful career. And you know, he'll climb up the rankings, up the pound-for-pound rankings, if he continues to dismantle opponents the way he's been winning so far. He's not only winning, but he's winning very, very impressive lately. And he's on the level of becoming a breakout star.
Yeah, Mikey's very impressive. And who would you like to see him fight next?
I would like to see him, I said it several minutes ago, I would like to see him fight Roman Martinez, only because of the whole Mexico-Puerto Rico feud. I think that would be a great fight for him. Martinez is tailor-made for Garcia. And then eventually the super fight to me at that division would be Garcia against Yurioka Gamboa. I think that would be great. It would be an aesthetically pleasing fight for the fans. Gamboa with the hand speed. It's just, you know, Gamboa is struggling with an identity. He doesn't really know if he's a boxer or a puncher. And I was very, 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 very unimpressed with his performance several weeks ago on HBO. And Garcia has options, either Martinez, Gamboa, or possibly both. I don't see Garcia ducking anybody.
No, I don't think Garcia would duck anybody as well. I agree. I completely agree. He is a young talent, and he's very talented, and I just hope they make the right decision with the weight. I really do. So let's go on to, am I saying his name wrong? Sakio Bika? Is that the right
correct.
pronunciation?
Sakio
Bika and Marco Antonio Paraban. Let's go on to these two guys. So they are fighting on June 22nd. Supposedly it's been canceled like twice before this, but they're supposed to be fighting on June 22nd in Brooklyn, right near you. So what do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, it's on the undercard of Malignaggi Broner. Unfortunately, it's not going to be telecast live on HBO. I don't really know much about Perriman. He hasn't really had the level of opposition that Sakio Bika has, but Sakio Bika is kind of like a measuring stick for all fighters that aspire to be great, when you consider the fact that 3 of his losses were against Calzaghe, Butte, and Andre Ward. And for all intent and purposes, and this is just in my humble opinion, I think Sakio Bika gave Andre Ward his toughest fight as a pro, even more competitive than Carl Froch. Although I had both fights scored 8-4 respectively, Sakio Bika made Andre Ward fight in the trenches. Very seldom do you see Andre Ward in a dogfight. You know, usually he's content to use his jab and outbox his opponent. But against Bika, they fought in the trenches a lot. And Bika exposed some of Andre Ward's flaws. So here's a guy, you know, if Bika's in there with a B- or a C+ fighter, he's going to win, and his only losses were to, A-class type of fighters. And in all of those losses, he acquitted himself very, very well. It wasn't like Calzaghe or Bute destroyed him either. He always gives a good account of himself. He's a workmanlike type of fighter, and quite frankly, I would be shocked if he loses this fight. I see Bika winning this fight by TKO, probably in the 8th and the 9th round.
All right, so the prophet, he's prophesied, he's said it. But now we have Richie Jones from Las Vegas. So before we lose him again, how you doing, Richie?
I'm doing well, Christine.
You're like a superstar today. It's hard to get a hold of you. My gosh.
Well, thanks a lot.
I wanted your professional opinion about, if you have anything to say about Juan Mikey, we kind of continued, but do you have anything to say about that fight?
Well, I think that Mikey Garcia not making the weight, it sabotaged it a little bit. It wasn't, it just seems like this is, I think Max Kellerman spoke on this a little bit. I think a lot of these fighters, these A-list fighters that are not making weight, coming in, not making weight, Floyd against Juan Manuel Marquez, Adrian Broner last summer against Escobedo, and so on. I think they are just kind of turning boxing on itself a little bit by doing this, because their opponents, who are the B side of the dance card, they're sacrificing, they're doing what needs to be done by making weight. And I just think that there is a problem here that needs to be addressed. There's no reason why he should not have made weight. I understand if he is just too big for the division anymore. I get it. But I just think that he should have sacrificed a little bit more, done what needed to be done to make the weight. That's all I got to say about that. Move up to super featherweight.
Okay, so we'll move up to super middleweight to Bika and Sakio Bika and Marco Antonio Paraban. So what do you think about that fight?
Look, I've liked Sakio Bika ever since he fought Joe Calzaghe. He showed, he's always come out and given his best against all these elite fighters. But in my opinion, this is a BS fight. They're calling it a WBC title fight. They took it away from Andre Ward just because he's injured. It's reminiscent of when Kostya Tszyu was injured a while back, a few years back, after he had unified all the belts. He did everything was asked of him. He gets injured, no fault of his own, and all of a sudden he starts getting stripped because he's not active enough, and they're not getting their sanctioning fees. Okay, it's a good top 10 matchup. I think Sakio Bika wins this fight going away, but to call it a title fight is an insult to the fans.
And so Prophet thinks that there's going to be a TKO. What do you think? Think it's going to go to decision?
I think it could be a technical knockout. Sakio Bika, again, he's really, other than like when he got disqualified against Jean-Paul Mendy since the Joe Calzaghe loss, and that was, a lot of people were like, well, why is Calzaghe fighting this guy when he should be fighting Jeff Lacey? I understand that they were trying to build up interest, but he really showed up for Calzaghe, Lucien Bute, Andre Ward, etc. The only big name that he lost to in the last 5 or 6 years that wasn't an elite fighter was Jean-Paul Mendy, and that was a DQ in the first round for hitting Mendy when he was down. Yeah, everyone else he beats. I would say that Sakio Bika could probably knock this guy out.
All right, so here you have it. You guys are both on the same side for this fight. Well, let's move on to Jonathan Banks and Seth Mitchell. Now, this should be a good fight. What do you think about this, Richie?
I think it's going to be a repeat. I think that Seth Mitchell is a great athlete. He was a great football player for my favorite team, the Michigan State Spartans. But most of the time, these guys cannot make the transition. He telegraphs all his punches. whereas Jonathan Banks has been doing this his whole life. He had the greatest trainer in boxing history teaching him. I think it's a repeat. Maybe Seth Mitchell makes it a little tougher, but in the end, I think that Banks is going to win this fight going away, either by a knockout or a one-sided decision.
Well, let's just remind everybody that the last time Jonathan Banks fought, he did fight Seth Mitchell, and he beat him by a TKO in the second round. And they're fighting on the 22nd of June at the Barclays Center. This Barclays Center is getting a lot of work in Brooklyn. So, Prophet, you're going to go to this fight?
I'm gonna do my best. I have a family obligation that I may not be able to get out of. My nephews are on their way to sleeping camp on Sunday, so I might have to do some bonding time with them. I don't know. I'd like to go, but with regards to who I like to win, sometimes you make a pick that sort of defies logic. I agree with everything that Richie Jones had to say. You know, on the surface, it looks like Banks should win easily. He's got an educated jab and he's a fighter, whereas Seth Mitchell is a college football player who's trying to make his mark as a professional boxer in the heavyweight division. He overcame adversity and beat Chaz Witherspoon. I was impressed with that victory. He beat former contender Brigham-Wolf. I was impressed with him in that fight before he lost to Banks. Common sense is telling me, Prophet, you have to pick Banks. Maybe even easier this time. But for some reason, I smell a little bit of an upset. I don't know why. I don't know if Jonathan Banks is cocky. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's something in the air in Brooklyn. There's got to be an upset. And I think Mitchell will be behind on points. Maybe after 6 or 7 rounds, it's 5-1 Banks or 4-2 Banks going into round 7. And I think Mitchell just catches him with a haymaker. Call it lucky, call it what you will. I see Seth Mitchell winning this fight. I don't know why. It defies all logic. Don't say Prophet. Give me some concrete evidence as to why you think Mitchell's going to win. It's just one of those premonitions I have. And I
so
like
wait a second, Prophet, when you say premonitions, do you get a feeling in your bones? I mean, where does this come from?
It's just a feeling that I have. You know, it's a feeling that I have that Mitchell's going to pull off the victory. It makes no sense why. You know, sometimes you look at a fight and one guy is far the superior fighter, but you just smell an upset in the air, and it's just something I guess I see coming. So my official pick, and I hope it doesn't, you know, bite me in the rear end, because, you know, all the naysayers, they love the Prophet when he's wrong, because, you know, they like to root against me. But I have to stand true to my convictions, and I like Seth Mitchell in somewhat of an upset. I'll go with Mitchell by a come-from-behind 7th round TKO.
Oh, wow. So we have a split decision here between Richie Jones and Richard the Boxing Prophet Solomon. That should be interesting. You guys don't go away. We're going to come back and talk about Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner and Jessica in just a minute, but we have to go to a commercial. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Real Combat Media Boxing Radio.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store and click on the On It banner of the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 18. I'm Christy Rosario. We have had a fantastic day with Sugar Shane Mosley, Cornelius K9 Bundrage, and I'm here with Richard Solomon, the boxing prophet, and Richie Jones. We are going to continue with Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner in just a second, but I wanted to give a little update. We had Diana Prezak on the show with Lucia Riker, her trainer, a few weeks ago, and Diana had said that they both had said that Diana was going to have to knock out Frida in order to have this win in Sweden. And, you know, I don't know how to say this. I mean, it's congratulations to Diana. She did get a KO, but unfortunately, Frida is still in intensive care, and she's in the I believe, I'm not sure if she had surgery. I think she did. But it's touch and go, and it's scary, and I send my prayers to Frida Wahlberg. She's a fantastic, phenomenal athlete, and by no means was this a mismatch. They were both fantastic, and unfortunately in this business, sometimes people get caught, and that's what happened. Well, it was more than caught. It was Diana trained hard with Lucia, and she definitely brought it to Frida. And my prayers go to Frida, and my congratulations go to Diana. Hopefully Diana will come back sometime soon and talk about her experience in Sweden. But we are going to move on now because, unfortunately, we only have a little more time. We're going to come back and talk about the interesting goings-on with Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner. I mean, they both should be stand-up comedians, especially Paulie. Man, I'm going to just call him Jersey Shore from now on. It's all about this girl, Jessica. They're all friends with her, or they were friends. And, you know, Paulie, you know, I saw an interview with her, and she was quite intelligent, and she spoke very well. And I hated the things that they said when I was reading, because it's a girl. If a girl goes and is with two different guys at two different times, then of course she's a slut. And of course, Paulie Malignaggi, well, it's true. She's a slut if she's with more than one guy within a month or whatever. But if it was a guy, they'd be high-fiving and, oh, dude, you're great. You're great. But her, she's the weekend. You heard what he said. I'm not going to repeat it. But Paulie is tacky and yet funny at the same time, I have to say. Have you guys did you watch that press conference, either one of you?
I watched a little bit of it on YouTube. I watched a little bit of it on YouTube. I think that Paulie's, you know, trying to get himself to a better place because he's an underdog and he should be. He's never really beaten an elite fighter other than Juan Diaz.
I think he's a little hurt, too. I think he's hurt that this girl went from him to Adrian Broner. I mean, I don't really see it, what she sees in either one of them, but everyone has different tastes. What did you think, Prophet?
I thought the press conference was hysterical. As a matter of fact, I hope to go to the weigh-in Friday. It's open to the public. It's in Brooklyn. I think it starts at noon. And I think the weigh-in is actually going to be more entertaining than the fight itself. So me and my peeps, we may take a day off from work to head down to the weigh-in. The whole thing to me is comical. First of all, I love Paulie Malignaggi as a commentator on Showtime. So if he ever quits boxing, he should stay on as a color commentator. I agree with Richie wholeheartedly. You know, his only meaningful victory came against Juan Diaz in a rematch that never should have taken place, because I actually thought Malignaggi beat Diaz the first time around. Every time he stepped up his level of competition against a B+ or an A- fighter, he's either A, lost kind of competitively. You know, Miguel Cotto, he showed a lot of courage. And against Juan Diaz, like I said in their first fight, in the fight I thought he won, he fought well. But the fights where he kind of embarrassed himself and didn't show up mentally or physically were against Ricky Hatton and Amir Khan, where it looked like Malignaggi was just going through the motions. and Khan and Hatton dominated every second of every round and sort of embarrassed Malignaggi. And yes, he had the inspiring victory going over to Russia and beating Senchenko for the belt, but Senchenko at best is sort of like a C-plus fighter. You know, Broner is jumping up 2 weight classes, so there's something to be said for can Broner's power translate up from all the way from lightweight all the way up to the welterweight division. He's been on a ridiculous TKO streak. I believe he scored 6 TKO victories in a row over the likes of Litzau and Eloy Perez, Escobedo, DeMarco, and Reese, just to name a few. You know, Broner first caught my attention when he fought Ponce de Leon, and a lot of critics said that Broner didn't even win that fight. They had De Leon winning 8 rounds to 2. Broner was a nobody. All he did was run the whole entire fight. I saw some potential in Broner. I scored the fight 6 rounds to 4 for Broner. If you want to make a case that the De Leon fight was a draw, I can understand that. But De Leon's success was only to the body. He couldn't touch Broner with any headshots whatsoever. The big mystery to me in this fight is which Adrian Broner will show up. Will it be the old Broner that used to dance his way to victory with foot movement and a jab, or will it be the newfound Broner who's willing to take risks, who wants to fight in the pocket, throw punches with violent intentions, and score TKO victory after TKO victory? Certainly for Malignaggi, I think he's got to use his jab. I think the Adrian Broner we've seen lately has sort of, you know, going away from boxing. He's more interested in scoring TKO victories and telling people how great he is. And I think the best way to beat a fighter like that is to use an educated jab, which Malignaggi always has had, but he just, for whatever reason, he doesn't show up in certain fights, even in his last fight against Cano. You know, I really believe in my heart of hearts he got a gift decision against Cano. He just wasn't there. He was only there. He wasn't there spiritually, mentally, whatever you want to call it. He blanks out during certain fights. So my official pick, and then I'll get to Richie because I know we're running out of time. I think you will see the best of Paulie Malignaggi, at least the best that could be expected. I think he knows this is his last chance to sort of quiet the naysayers. The fact that it's in Brooklyn will be huge for Malignaggi because Broner's a villain and everyone loathes the villain, so there'll be plenty of Malignaggi fans to support him. And I think he makes it a competitive fight for maybe the first 5 or 6 rounds. But eventually, Broner's speed will take over, and Malignaggi, like he does, will have these mental lapses, and Broner will dominate the last 4 or 5 rounds, probably knocking Malignaggi down in round number 10. Malignaggi does have guts, like he showed against Cotto, so I think he'll survive Broner's onslaught, and the fight will go to distance. But I see Broner winning comfortably, 8 rounds to 4, but with the knockdown, I'll have Broner becoming the new welterweight champion as he wins on my scorecard by 5 points.
Mm-hmm. All right, you hear that? What do you think, Richie?
I think that Malignaggi's, I don't see him winning the fight. I think his only chance to see the 12th round is if he gets on his bicycle and just takes off running. Plus, it all depends on how Broner adjusts to moving up 2 weight divisions. I know that Malignaggi's thinking the same thing that everyone else is thinking from 140 to 160 pounds. I get this win. I hit the Mayweather sweepstakes. And, yeah, I think we're going to see the best possible Malignaggi that could be. I've never been a huge fan of his as a fighter. Yeah, I think he's a great commentator. I think he's one of the best color commentators in boxing. He has absolutely brought up the Showtime crew. He's brought him up a level. I think he's outstanding. And, yeah, he definitely has a career when his boxing career is over with. And I think that might be this Saturday.
All right, you guys. We only have 45 seconds left. It was a great show. Richie, thank you for coming on. As always, it's very insightful listening to you. And, of course, my co-host. Thank you, Richard Solomon, the boxing prophet. And you guys have a good day, and stay tuned for next Tuesday with Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. We'll be back here again at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 East Coast time. You can Twitter us at Real Combat Media or at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, or at Facebook. You can go to realcombatmedia.com, or that's actually just Real Combat Media. And thanks again to our great guests of Sugar Shane Mosley and Cornelius K9 Bundrage. And good luck to both of them. Bundrage. I did it again. Cornelius K9 Bundrage. Okay, see you guys next Tuesday. Keep watching boxing and have a good day. Bye-bye.